Hello, welcome back to Free Spirit Yoga. I'm Sally and today is day 24 of the Samaritans 30-day yoga challenge. We're almost all the way through the challenge. So today we're coming back to look at core strength and flexibility. So remember, we've talked about previously that your core muscles are any muscles that attach to your spine or to your pelvis. So that's including your abdominal muscles, your back muscles, your bottom muscles, your thighs. And we're going to be looking at yoga asana that helps to strengthen and increase flexibility in these muscles. And as we've talked about before, it's really key to have a good balance between strength and flexibility. I've said before, we want to be like bamboo, okay? Bamboo is strong and flexible, so it doesn't break. So, let's get started. We're starting today's session in a seated position. So as always, if you want to sit on a cushion or a blanket, anything to raise your bottom up off the floor a little bit, or if you want to sit with your legs straight out in front of you, then go for it. Just make yourself comfortable. We're going to begin with pranayama, with breathing practice. And we're going to practice that Ujjayi breath that we've practiced before, the ocean sound breath, which is where we breathe slowly and deeply in and out through the nose while constricting the back of the throat slightly to create friction as the air passes over, to create that sound of the ocean, that hissing sound. Remember that to help you constrict the back of your throat slightly, you can just push the tip of your tongue against the back of your teeth, and that will help you to achieve that. Also, I want you to really concentrate on is that movement of the belly as we inhale and exhale. So as we inhale, the diaphragm is pushing down, pushing on our internal organs. They need somewhere to go, they need to come out. So we need to allow our belly to come out. But then as we exhale, as our diaphragm relaxes back up again, we really want to engage our tummy muscles, our abdominal muscles. I promise that you do have them. To really draw your belly in to help to push the air up and out of your lungs. So really concentrate on that while we're doing that deep breathing, engaging your tummy muscles, drawing your tummy in, your belly button towards your spine, and pushing the air up and out. Okay, so we're just going to start off by sitting with a straight back. So lifting our chest, letting our shoulders drop back, and closing our eyes and drawing our focus, our attention to our breath. Not trying to control your breath at this instant, just focusing on your breath. Now we're going to start to control the breath, pranayama, the Ujjayi breath, breathing in and out through your nose, constricting slightly the back of your throat, really concentrating on the movement of the abdomen as you inhale and exhale. Okay, returning now to normal breathing. Keep your eyes closed as you start to circle your upper body around to start to loosen off your core. So as we're coming forwards, we're pushing our chest forwards. As we're circling back, we're rounding our back. Just notice any areas of stiffness or of tension. Just generally just notice what's going on in your body, the sensations that you feel as you move your body around. Now circling back in the opposite direction. This is called stir the pot. Okay, now we're just going to sway gently from side to side. Again, just keeping your eyes closed, just feeling the internal sensations of how this feels in your body. Okay. Now coming back to stillness in the center. And slowly opening your eyes. Okay. We're going to come up to a standing position in a moment, but before we do so, we're going to practice mill churning pose, which we have practiced before in this challenge. So we're going to straighten our legs and bring our feet apart. And we're going to interlock our fingers, holding our arms out straight in front of us so that they're parallel with the floor. And now we're going to make a big stirring motion. Okay, so we're trying to come forwards right over our feet. And then as we come back, we're trying to come back as far as we can. You'll really feel those core muscles working, all of them working to maintain stability as you move in this way. And it's also really good for keeping the flexibility in your muscles rather than just holding them rigid. We're engaging them but moving at the same time in a fluid motion. Now going back the other way. Remember, try to keep those arms as parallel as you can with the floor. Okay. Right, now we're going to come up to a standing position. So just come onto your knees and then tuck your toes under, come back up onto your toes with your fingertips just resting on the floor to help stabilize you, and then engaging your core muscles, come up to a standing position. Okay then, so first of all, in a standing position we're going to practice the swaying palm tree pose, which we've practiced a few times before. So we're going to stand with our feet about shoulder width apart, maybe just a little bit wider, with the toes pointing slightly out. This is just going to give us a really nice stable base with our lower body. We're going to be moving the upper body now. I want you to really engage your thigh muscles to help to stabilise the lower body. We're going to interlock the fingers and push our palms right up to the ceiling so that we're bringing our arms straight, or as straight as we can, and trying to bring them to touch our ears or as close to our ears as we can. Now keep on reaching up as we exhale and lean to the side. So what we don't want to see is this, we don't want that lower arm to come down, we want to keep the arms straight, reaching up. And then inhale up to the centre, again reaching right up before then exhaling to the other side. Inhaling to the centre, again reaching right up and exhaling to the side. once more to each side. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good. And then coming back to the centre, reach right arm to the ceiling, and then exhale your arms down. Good. Just give your arms a little bit of a shake out. Give them a bit of a swing around your body. Quite intense on the shoulders, that stretch. Okay, so next we're going to practice the triangle pose that we practiced the other day in the Yoga Foundations session. So let's face the side of our mat, bring our feet apart so that you feel a decent stretch here in your adductor muscles, that's the muscles running along the inside of your thigh. Just turn your toes just ever so slightly in. Now they're ever so slightly pigeon-toed. Really engaging your thigh muscles here to, again, keep you nice and steady and stable. Now we're going to turn the right foot out to face the top of the mat. Your heel should be roughly in line with the arch of your other foot, so just check that. Our hips should still be facing to the side. We're keeping this leg straight. You might want to have just a slight micro bend in the knee, particularly if you're like me and your knees tend to lock out slightly backwards. So just keep that knee a little bit soft. We're then going to bring our arms up to about shoulder level, the palms facing forwards. And as we exhale, we're going to reach out to the right side, reach out, and then bring the right arm down and the left arm up so that they're staying roughly in line, remembering to keep this left hip pointing to the ceiling. Don't let it collapse forward, keep it pointing to the ceiling. And this is the triangle pose. Very intense stretch. So we won't hold it for too long. Okay, inhaling, coming up. Brilliant, well done. Okay, now we're going to turn the right foot back to face the side of the mat, toes just ever so slightly turned in. We're going to turn now the left foot out to face the top of the mat. Again, hips are still facing to the side. Check that your heel is roughly in line with the arch of your other foot. And then raise your arms up to about shoulder level, palms facing forwards. Exhale, reach out to the left, reach out, and then bring the left arm down, the right arm up. Remember, keeping that corner of the right hip pointed to the ceiling, don't let it come forward. Remember to breathe. Good, and inhaling, coming up. Well done. Okay, now turning both your feet back to face the side of the mat and see if you can hop your feet together. Okay, now we're going to come back down to the mat. To do that, we're going to go into a forward fold. We're going to walk our feet back into the downward facing dog that we've practiced often during this challenge. And the downward facing dog pose is very good for increasing strength and flexibility in all of your core muscles. So we're going to come and stand towards the top of our mat so we've got space to walk our feet backwards in a moment. Remembering standing with your feet hip distance apart. We're going to inhale, exhale, bring our hands into prayer position. Inhale, reach right up, looking up, bending back slightly, and then exhaling, folding forward, reaching forward as you do, and then bringing your arms down, your fingertips to the mat either side of your feet. Remember, bend your knees as much as you need to be able to bring your tummy to your thighs. Just let your head hang, your neck relax.
And now, keeping our hands on the floor, we're going to walk our feet back into downwards facing dog. So remember, downwards facing dog is that inverted V position. Our head is coming between our arms to look up towards our tummy. Our heels are coming down towards the mat as our bottom pushes up and back. So if your heels are up off the floor, that's absolutely fine, but just still pull them down towards the floor as you push your bottom up to get that stretch down the back of your legs. Good, and exhale, slowly lower your knees back down to the mat. Okay, next we're going to practice the plank pose. Now there are a couple of different ways of doing it depending on the strength that you have in your wrists and your arms and your core muscles. So the full plank pose is where we have our hands directly underneath our shoulders. Really spread the fingers on your hands so that you've got a good stable base. And then we come up onto our toes, a straight line from our ankles all the way to our shoulders. So we're really engaging the core muscles. What we don't want to see is the bottom sticking up in the air, more towards downwards facing dog, or the belly dipping down towards the floor. Nice straight line. Now if that really feels like a lot, you can do this from your knees. Okay, so we come down onto our knees, bring the tops of our foot to the mat, and we have a straight line running from our knees to our shoulders. So again, we don't want to be dipping our belly down like this or have our bottom sticking up like this. It's a straight line from our knees to our shoulders. It's a very difficult pose to hold for any length of time. Really takes a lot of arm strength and wrist strength as well as core muscle strength. Okay, and release. Okay, last of all, we're going to practice a pose which we've practiced before as well. It's called Half Lord of the Fishes. It's a twist. So we're going to sit with our legs straight out in front of us to begin. Then we're going to bend the left knee. Now, depending upon the flexibility of your hips, either bring the left foot just to the outside of the right knee. If that feels difficult for you, no worries, you can just leave the foot this side of your right leg. Okay, either way, now we're going to twist to the left. We're going to start off by just wrapping our right arm around the left leg and bringing our left hand onto the floor behind us, and we're twisting. Remember to keep length in the spine as you twist, and then you're going to turn your head as much as you can to look over your left shoulder. Now if you want to remain in that position, that's absolutely fine if that feels good for you. If however you want to increase the stretch slightly, you can bring the elbow to the outside of the left knee. Palm is facing forwards, and again the left hand is on the floor behind you. You can use that elbow on the outside of the knee to just help you push you further into the twist. Remember, keep length in the spine. Okay, and release. Now changing the direction, so we're going to have our left leg straight, our right leg bent with our foot either on the same side of that leg. We just have Catherine walk past again. Or if you've got that little bit more flexibility, you can just bring the right foot onto the outside of the left knee. Okay, and again we're just going to start off by wrapping the left arm around the right leg and bringing the right hand onto the floor behind us, keeping length in the spine, twisting, turning our head to look behind our right shoulder. And again, if you want to remain in that position, that's absolutely fine. Do what's best for you, what feels comfortable for you. Otherwise, what we can do is we can bring the right elbow onto the outside, the left elbow onto the outside of the right knee, and use that to just lever yourself around a bit more into the twist. Again, remember, lengthen the spine as you twist. Okay, and release. It's time for Savasana, for relaxation. So let's come down to lay on our mats. Remember, Savasana is where we lay with our legs straight, our feet slightly apart, just letting your ankles relax so your toes just hang out to the side. Our arms are out slightly away from the side of our body with our palms facing up to the ceiling. And close our eyes and just relax totally our whole body. Completely let go. Okay, bringing your legs together, bending your knees, rolling slowly over onto one side, and gently coming up to a seated position. Okay, thank you very much for joining me for day 24 for this core strength and flexibility session. Please join me tomorrow for day 25. We'll be looking at opening up body and mind. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. There'll be plenty more videos coming from me, so if you'd like to keep up to date with what I'm releasing, then please hit the subscribe button, subscribe to my channel, and please, please, please go donate money to the Samaritans following the links below. See you tomorrow.